There are tons of different brands of pre-workouts and supplements you can take before you work out. And just as there are a ton of different options, many of those options get pulled off the market regularly for containing banned substances or some shitty thing in it that you really don't want to be taking. So how do you get oomph for your workout without taking a pre-workout? Find out today. What is up, people? Jean Carlos here with the Total Body Training Podcast, where I help people get lean, gain muscle, and build some damn confidence. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 pre-workout alternatives. So, the whole thing that brought this about was, I don't really take pre-workout right now. Now, there are a few kinds that I would recommend that are certified. So if you're going to take a pre-workout, I strongly recommend that you find one that's certified. There's a separate video about finding certified supplements and why I recommend that you find those. You can listen to that video if you look down in the description to this video and to this podcast. It'll be in there. But moving on. Today, I'm going to share with you some alternatives to it because, maybe you want some oomph, right? We've all got long days, and sometimes by the time that we get to the gym, we're just kind of like, oh, maybe you've been sitting at a desk and you're tired, or maybe you wake up in the morning and you don't have that oomph to get through the workout and you need that extra oomph to get through it. Then you probably, if you're listening to this, want to do it in a way that doesn't actually harm you. And with them pulling so many pre-workouts for having banned substances, or for them just having shit in it that's not healthy for you, these 3 options are relatively cheap, so you're going to save some money by using them, and it's going to give you the peace of mind that you're not taking something that could possibly harm your body. So let's go ahead and begin. Now, the first one is going to be, and I actually brought some props with me today, is going to be coffee. Now, the main ingredient in pre-workout that gives you that extra amount of energy, or the healthiest ingredient in pre-workout, is caffeine. And you get plenty of caffeine from any kind of coffee. Now, right now, I drink coffee from this brand called Blue Island. It doesn't have to be Blue Island. It can be any brand. So this is what I drink when I am going to work out. I drink it a little bit. Sometimes I sip on it while I'm working out. Now, for some of you, you might think that, well, Jean, I like coffee, but I don't want to drink hot-ass coffee when I'm working out. Yeah, I totally get that. So usually I drink this, I'll be honest with you, before I work out. So I get that warm coffee, or I drink it in a cold version. So I drink something that's cold, and that's where, you have some options. So you can make your own cold brew at home. I make my own coffee at home. You can make your own cold brew as well, which is something that I'm going to experiment with. But right now I don't do that. So what do I do when I want a cold brew? So the truth is that when I do a cold brew, I usually just either pick one up at like a local Starbucks or a local coffee shop here in town, or I swing by a gas station, and oftentimes you'll find at the gas station that they'll have something that looks like this. And so this is sorry you can't really see it very well, but I'll read it to you. This is a Starbucks cold brew coffee, and it is black and shit. I like to get the unsweet version. This one came sweetened, if you see it right here. So if you're trying to stay away from doing sugar or getting a lot of sugar, I would go with the black unsweetened option. Do not do what I did, which is grab the black sweetened. I was in a hurry because it does have 13 grams of sugar. And while that's not as bad as getting the one with the cream and all that stuff in it, it's still a little bit higher than what I would like. But regardless, okay, we could treat those as pre-workout sugars. Probably burn it off while you're working out. But here's the point. I love to drink this when I'm working out. It's a simple solution. And also, let's say that you do take pre-workout, but you forget your pre-workout and you're heading to the gym. Chances are there's a gas station on the way to the gym. You could pick this up. So this is all a part of option 1. Coffee, whether it's hot coffee or whether it's cold brew coffee, will be good. Okay, you could do that. Now, Option 2 is really kind of like, is really kind of like option 2 and option 3. I'll explain. So option 2 is any kind of black tea. So black tea is great because it's high in caffeine. It's one of the caffeines, one of the teas that's the highest in caffeine. And again, I just get a cheap version of black tea. Sometimes I like something that's a little bit nicer. You can get one of those yogi teas. Those are tasty and delicious. Just make sure it actually is a black tea. So it's caffeinated and not a white tea. I believe white teas or fragrant teas, Floral teas generally don't have caffeine in them. You're going to want to flip them over and see. So the kind of tea that I usually get is a black tea. Now, what you can also do if you don't want to get that hot is you can let that tea cool and store it. After you've made tea, you can make it days in advance. So you can make it the night before you're going to work out. You can make a huge pot of tea and save it for your workouts. And you can sip on it while you're working out or a little bit before you work out. Now, is this going to give you the same kind of umph that you get or the same kind of jitteriness that you get from a pre-workout? No, but maybe that kind of feeling isn't so great. I remember I used to take this pre-workout that had niacin in it and it would make me really itchy. And I thought that was a good thing, but it's not, because that pre-workout, which was C4 at the time, still a popular brand, has been pulled off the market several times. So, I don't know about the current form of their formula, but at the time when I was taking it in college, it turns out that it was fucking people's shit up. So, maybe we don't need to get that energetic. Maybe we don't need to get all itchy just to, hit some PRs. Maybe we can take something a little bit more mild. And, if you don't like drinking hot teas, like I said, you can either make your tea and store it overnight and let it cool down, or throw some ice cubes in it, or just get iced tea. So this is a really cheap brand that I get. It's called Park Leaf. See if I can bring it up a little bit closer. And so I get this version of it, Pure Park Leaf. What the fuck am I talking about? It's called Pure Leaf. It's an unsweet black tea. Now they also make a few different options, but this is my go-to. There is a corner store here at Total Body Training that I like to go to. And whenever I go there before a workout, whenever I'm in a lift, I pick up one of these if I don't have my own coffee or my tea, or if I don't pick up coffee, right? I pick up one of these. Another nice thing about tea is that it's a little bit more mild in terms of like how it makes you feel. So, whereas like coffee has, from what I understand, I don't remember the science on this, but I think coffee, the caffeine content in coffee is a little bit harsher. So, let's say that it's later in your day, right? And you want to drink something, but you don't want to drink something that's going to keep you up all night, like coffee could do, or definitely a pre-workout would do. That is where tea would come in. Tea will be better to drink later in the evening because it's more mild. Now, that being said, you can't drink like there's a huge version of this thing. You can't drink like the gallon version you buy at Walmart or something like that. That'll definitely keep you up. Unless you're like super insensitive to caffeine, which is a different problem, and maybe we should try to wean you off of that. But that's what I would recommend, is doing that. Now, the other option is going to be green tea. Green tea is the more mild form of caffeine out of all those three. And, again, you can just do green tea in hot or an iced version. Chances are you can run to your local, here in San Antonio, we have Valero's. Now we have Circle K. That's our corner stores, our gas stations. Wherever you're at, Texaco, Shell, whatever you got over there, chances are they've got some kind of green tea. I strongly recommend that you go with the unsweet version. Something that you can do if you want it to be a little bit sweeter is you can add some stevia. And you could also even add a little dash of some almond milk or milk to it to make it taste a little bit better and a little bit more like a matcha latte without the 300 calories and the 80 grams of sugar that come in that. That's a really popular Starbucks drink that I love, but just has a little too much sugar, so I save that for a special occasion. Now, people, this is actually what I do when I work out. I drink this stuff. I don't drink anything else really. I have done pre-workouts. I'm not trying to say that you can't take any, and there are definitely some good options. Maybe I'll make a video about the pre-workout that I would suggest. But if you're looking for something that's not going to give you all the jitteriness and potentially won't get pulled off the market, and something that you can trust and that's been around for a long time, I would just say go with something that's traditional and with something that's cheaper, which is either coffee, black tea, or green tea. All right, people, thank you so much for tuning in to the Total Body Training Podcast. Until next time, peace.